You guys want to see something interesting? This is a point that I've kind of struggled to make in the past, but I think that Cenk has actually made an absolutely stellar argument on my behalf on how so much independent media got captured by the right. So we're doing kind of like a targeted attack here, if you will. So this is very stupid, just to be clear. I asked Elon Musk to put me in charge of cutting the Pentagon, and he said, "What are your suggestions?" I run the largest left-wing network online. And a Democratic leader has never asked me that question. The idea that they would take advice from a populist is disdainful to them. Now, which side seems more open and inclusive? Which side seems more welcoming? And which side tries really hard to drive you away if you disagree even a little with orthodoxy? Which side is asking for suggestions and which one is demanding compliance to obedience? You said it was reactionary of us to go in an 18-month bender about homeless people and gender pronouns? How dare you? I've made this point before, but I think this is such an excellent case study. One of the most important things to keep in mind about a lot of people who work in independent media, in media in general, but largely I think independent media because you kind of control your own output, is that these people have massive egos, like absolutely titanic planetary egos. Because like every single day they go online and literally hundreds of thousands of people say, yes, please, your delicious opinions, give me more, yum, yum. This applies to me as well. Don't get it twisted, okay? Cenk's ego is massive. I think it's larger than mine, but I can't lie about mine either. This is basically like a universal issue with content creation. The thing is that in a lot of cases, people like this are extremely susceptible to flattery in the same way that people like Elon Musk or Donald Trump are. Their huge egos mean that a lot of their politics get shifted and driven by who gives them praise and who gives them criticism. One of the reasons why I don't take stuff like this seriously is because the idea that I would be pulled from the left because I've been mistreated by people on the left, how could you tell that to me? I've gotten more shit than, well, more than Cenk. I've gotten more undeserved shit than Cenk, I'll tell you that much. The idea of like, I've been criticized by the left and now I will change my opinions. What are you talking about, you weakling? Good Lord. It's crazy. Like, I can't respect this at all. And so many people love to whine about this too. They're like, now which side seems more open and inclusive? Who gives a shit, dude? Well, I'm not to say it's not important, but like, why, like, is the insinuation here that Elon Musk's perspective is more legitimate because he was more accepting? The important thing to note here is that this is a stupid thing to ask. I asked Elon Musk to put me in charge of cutting the Pentagon. Why did Elon listen to me, but why would the Democrats not? Are you insane? It's a good thing that the Democrats wouldn't listen to you. Are you kidding me? This random, like, YouTuber is like, yeah, put me in charge of deciding the budget of the Pentagon, the unauditable mega organization that controls more people and money than basically any institution in the history of the planet. I'm a YouTuber. I run TYT, the biggest left-wing network on YouTube. Put me in charge. Any serious, like, Democratic rep who heard this would laugh in his face. But Elon, because he's a moron who tweets, thinking emoji, 800 times a day in response to like people posting, you know, Holocaust denial or whatever. Elon just says whatever, because there's no standards here. Okay, Vosh, but also the Dems listen to professional losers all the time. Yeah, so wait, they should listen to one more? It's just a ridiculous thing to say. Can you imagine if I tweeted this? Hey, I said, put me in charge of nationalizing pharma. And, you know, RFK Jr. said, what are your ideas? You know, now the Democrats would never listen to me if yeah, because I can't nationalize pharma. I don't have the credentials to manage an organization of that scale. It's insane. What are you talking about? I'm a damn YouTuber. I woke up at like 10:30 a.m. today, Pacific time. The sun was already more than halfway across the sky over Washington by the time I woke up. I can't do this. You kidding? Anyway, this is the reason why people like Joe Rogan or you know how basically every like random kind of political drama guy ended up going to Trump? Like all of them, basically. Unless a person you know is actively progressive, you can assume that if there's like a gamer dude or a sports dude or you know, like a drama dude, like all of those people went to Trump. It gives them the ability to like participate in a communal, in like a chorus with no key, no note, and no song being played. Like it's just like random singing, but they feel like they're participating. Don't get me wrong. I think the Democrats should listen to people outside of the cabal of losers that helped them, in 2016 and 2024. I mean, don't get me like I think that these people should be fired. The Democratic Party loves to hold on to people after they've stopped, participating or contributing anything meaningful. But this is pretty dumb. Which side is asking for suggestions and which one is demanding compliance and obedience? Does he really think Elon Musk, the guy who currently runs the Nothing NGO that's talking about how they're going to cut $500,000 from like grant funding, is going to listen to his advice on cutting? Well, what are your suggestions on cutting the Pentagon then? See if they do them. See how listened you feel, or how listened to you feel. You really think Republicans are going to cut the Pentagon budget? Are you stupid? Cenk can't be serious with this, right? No, he is. It's because he, like all content creators, has a massive ego and he likes feeling. Look, I would also love it if Democrats listen to me. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not stupid enough to unironically argue that because somebody like Elon Musk is going to take my non-advice, that is like some kind of relative criticism of the Democrats, Remarkably stupid. Anyway, naturally, all the people in the replies are Republicans saying, join us, which is exactly what they did with Ana Kasparian. This process has already been in way for a while because the TYT network has been bought. I refuse to believe any other explanation for their sudden rightward shift. So this will just like further facilitate that process, It's not going to work in the long run though, because as the same thing happened with CNN, you can buy a network to make it right wing, but right wingers won't watch it. Right wingers will only watch networks that are insanely right wing like them, Fox News did the same thing. Fox News pulled away from Trump a little bit in 2020. But eventually they had to shift further right to recapture the market share that had been lost to OAN and Newsmax, Right-wingers aren't interested in a network that occasionally discusses their preferences. They're only interested in, like, hardline orthodoxy, which is funny considering the fact that Cenk is the one saying here that Democrats are hardline orthodox guys, as opposed to Republicans. The people right now who are appointing a cabinet of no one but the most, like, insane far-right, business grifters. Imagine if Cenk got red-pilled. Your pivot has been fascinating to watch. It has always been this way with the grassroots Republicans, Cenk. Both the Tea Party and MAGA were demonized when all they were and are is the voice of the people. The Uniparty hates us for good reason. Trump resists the Uniparty, which is why all of his cabinet picks are neocons, warhawks, Zionists, and business magnates who stand to make a bunch of money from deregulating the industries the regulatory agencies they've captured. I'm so glad you're seeing this. MAGA isn't a political ideology. It is American values. The main criticism that you can make of it, I guess, is that, like, if you're putting a hook out into the water and you're pulling up shit like this, you must have put some foul bait on that hook, I mean, it's Twitter. Yeah, but just because it's Twitter doesn't mean that you have to post things that right-wing MAGA lunatics agree with, Cenk and Anna's comment sections have all looked like this recently, Lamau. The funny thing is, as far as I can tell, it's only been to the detriment of their network. This is what I mean by them being ego-driven. Ana Kasparian and Cenk get way more positive attention with their stupid, like, third-way, pseudo right-wing, like, oh, the Democrats criticize us for having bad opinions, isn't that unfair bullshit, but their videos don't do any better for it. Like, their network has suffered, hasn't it? MAGA's not watching TYT. When I look at the comment section, which, by the way, all the comment sections in TYT's videos are most recent comment first, which videos only do if the top comments are critical of the video. Because it's just noise if you're looking at most recent comments, but if you look at top comments, it's people saying like, man, I watched you for like 11 years and I've never seen points this stupid or something. You can see that in a bunch of their videos. So how's this going to end for TYT? I mean, they're already getting sponsorships from Polymarket, so in all likelihood, they're going to get bought out completely or whatever else. But like, they'll always have enough money that they're not going to be on the street or whatever. Maybe like Ana Kasparian's trying to do the Dave Rubin thing right now, where she has like her own, what is it, like a podcast or a Substack? I don't remember what it is, but she literally did the Dave Rubin thing where she's like, I'm politically homeless and I just want to have real conversations with people interested in real ideas. By which I mean, like, I want to talk to right-wing people and, not dark academia, what's it called? The dark intellectual, what was the term? IDW, that's right, the intellectual dark web guys who will sit here and validate my very stupid opinions. We still have the Majority Report? Yeah, well, the people on the Majority Report actually believe in what they talk about, unlike TYT, which has produced like 5 to 6 right-wing grifters at this point. Dark academia fashion sneaking its way into Vashama. Dark academia is not a real fashion trend. More insane shit from Cenk. This must feel so good if you have a huge ego. I'm glad I haven't gone this far down the rabbit hole. When I became a Democrat, it was the more tolerant party. Republicans were run by religious nutjobs and corporate robots. Now the Democrats are in a lot of ways the less tolerant party. I know the Democrats were literally just talking about how they were going to have both Democrats and Republicans in the cabinet, and Republicans have appointed no one but far-right lunatics and Christian nationalists, and that a MAGA, superintendent in Oklahoma was trying to push Trump Bibles and videos of him praying for Trump onto every student in his school districts. But the Democrats are mean because they criticize me when I'm objectively wrong about stuff. Yeah, it's pretty stupid. For context, Vosh, Cenk is an outspoken atheist. There are lots of outspoken atheists who ended up agreeing with Christian fundamentalists because they aligned on right-wing values. Richard Dawkins came out saying he's a Christian atheist because, he was the main one that I was thinking of, yeah. Oh, by the way, another example of ego getting in the way. Unironically, one of the biggest reasons why you see so little authentic left-wing independent media, it's because these guys get gigantic, huge, ballooned egos, and then their egos make their decisions rather than the underlying values they started with. This has happened so many times. Like with Ozan? No. He has the ego, but it hasn't pulled him away yet from the positions he holds. Now, maybe sometime in the future, Hassan gets in some big drama backlash wave or whatever, and he pivots, but I don't really see it.